the swords and maybe the scythe over here. What's your thing that just like really gets you going? That's just your, oh my God, I love doing this.
I actually really like painting.
Yeah?
I like airbrushing. This helmet over here is from a game called Destiny, and
this is beautiful, by the way. I mean,
it's
oh my
just,
gosh.
the paintwork's what really
guys
gets
can
to
see
me.
that.
I enjoy it.
Look at that paintwork.
As well as like the Sylvanas breastplate on the right side. So it's really the airbrush work that's I enjoy. If I budget my time well, I'd just as soon spend more time painting than I actually would spend making the actual prop. So
yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, seriously, it looks like it's metal. I'm completely blown away. And the fact that I was carrying this a little bit ago, it's super duper light.
Yeah, yeah. If I could have, I've got another prop that's super light and obnoxious. I made dark helmet for Bernie.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. So,
oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I made a dark helmet from Spaceballs, and that helmet
is huge.
3.5 feet wide, 3.5 feet tall, and it weighs 1.5 pounds.
Yeah.
Because it's all vacuum formed, so it's not the most tough prop in the world, but as long as you're careful with it, it's fun to run around in.
Yeah.
It sounds like a chamber when you're talking.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
I think it would have taken up half the table though.
Yeah, it probably would have. Yeah, I've seen that thing in person. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
He has this huge case to carry it in, so it's like, yeah. I like the fact that, the stuff that you make, if you take care of it, it's not going to,
right.
I mean, if you leave it like next to the road and someone hits it with their car, I mean, it's not gonna last, guys.
Be
careful with this stuff.
One of the things that I've always really disliked about a lot of props is, a lot of props you can only bring them to 1 or 2 conventions, and then you have to work on fix on them, and you have to just do touch up, and they just degrade. And even my props do that, but I design them and I make them in the sense that you'll be able to go to 5 conventions, 10 conventions, and as long as you're not throwing them around and people aren't, in all fairness, most of the time the reason that props break is other people messing with them. So it's...
Yeah, because they don't know how to handle, let's say, this mask. I mean, they might think that, oh, it's okay to just throw it. And it's just, no, it can get scratched. Like, things can get scratched.
Well, I mean, I've seen half a dozen times where somebody just walks up to somebody with a mask or helmet and just knocks on it. And it's a terrible thing.
That's not cool. Guys,
sadly,
don't be knocking on people's stuff.
We are a group of wonderful, smart, intelligent, socially awkward, nerdy people sometimes.
Yes, we are.
And when that socially awkwardness kind of takes control, we don't think through our actions. I'm guilty as well. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, you just have to be careful, of people like that, I guess. I mean, so a couple of questions. What kind of materials do you use with this stuff? Because I mean, this is definitely, you said this one was 3D printed, but this one's so much lighter, and then this over here feels really light as well, but it feels super duper durable. I mean, so what kind of this isn't like Warbler and like, I mean, what are these made out of?
So I can kind of go through the list.
Okay.
There's a lot of urethane resin. I do a lot of casting work. Okay. If I like something a lot, I'm going to make a mold of it, and then I can reproduce it.
Okay.
I've actually started to take a large step back from taking custom commissions, unless it's something I really, really like. So I'm not trying to keep people away, but more so now I'm at the point where I just make what I really like. And I tend to find that the stuff that I really like, there's enough people out there that also really like.
Yeah.
And so as long as I do a really good job, I can typically market and sell it to those people. I also try to keep things affordable. Case in point, this is a finished Casey Jones mask. I sell this finished for $120. That's painted, that's strapped, padded, ready to wear.
Good. Gosh, it looks good.
On the other hand, for half that price, you can get a cast version of it. It's raw. It's got partial trimming done to it, but you can take this home. You can scar it up. You can finish it yourself.
Cool.
I found a lot of people, they love the finished products, but there's a lot more emotional attachment to something when they finish it themselves. So really the way I see it is I'm providing a product to somebody that they can really embrace, that they can really work towards finishing, and they're going to like their version a whole heck of a lot more. I've also got tutorials, and I'm really open to just discussing, helping people when they've got questions. So it's, I get a whole slug of people that are saying, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I mean, I like teaching.
That's really cool that you like to help with people. So, and I mean, with a piece like this, it's like they could make a Dias de los Muertos.
You could. I've actually made one.
Have you really?
I have.
I mean, you could make any. You could make a zombie Jason mask. You could make anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put flowers on it. You could be a hippie.
I would.
You could totally do that. Have you done that?
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Take this, keep it, put flowers on it. I'd love to see it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so gonna do it. I'm so gonna put flowers and everything. It's gonna be amazing. So this is my sort of. Can you see my eye?
Be careful.
I know, right? There's a couple pieces that I need to trim in here, but this is great. I absolutely love, and it's super. Seriously, this is so light. I mean, it looks like it's.
Right. Yeah. So.
I mean, this looks like metal. I mean, it's, dude, super sturdy. I love it. Oh my gosh, yay!
Well, you know what? You keep mentioning metal, and the reason it looks like metal is because it is.
Really?
Like this, for example. This isn't a silver spray paint. This is actually using a paint called All-Clad, and that is a metallizing lacquer.
All-Clad.
And so essentially what that means is they take a really finely ground particulate metal powder, and that's put inside a suspension material or a suspension liquid, and then you use that for your painting, right?
Oh. So it's actually little particles of metal.
Little particles of metal.
Oh my gosh.
But really what's important about that is it picks up the surface properties of the underlying paint. So really this is a really, really high gloss black.
Yeah.
Polished, wet sanded, real sexy. And then you spray it with this all-clad metallizing lacquer, and what it does is it tints the high gloss black. So you think about it, if you have a high enough reflective paint, like a black, for example, really reflective, you can see your reflection, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you just tone it with all-clad, you're still going to see your reflection. It's going to have that sheen to it that you don't get with metallic spray paints. So that's how that's accomplished.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of something like that. Wow.
Cool stuff.
How fun.
Trade secrets. I didn't tell anyone.
Trade secrets, but you know, but he likes to teach, so that's good.
Yes.
Yay.
There's actually a really wonderful tutorial video on it on the Stan Winston School of
Oh, I love
School of
Stan
Arts.
Winston.
So
We got to get Stan Winston on here.
yes.
Got to get you guys on here. But well, cool. So I heard that you're doing a special deal for everyone today.
Yeah. So
super exciting.
I'm gonna do two things. First of all, anybody that's watching this right now, if you after the show, so give me about 10 minutes after the show actually, but if you go on my Etsy page and you just put in HOKU 10, you'll get a 10% discount on your entire order. Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, and the second one is I'm gonna do a giveaway. So it's not, for anybody that likes my page, you're gonna get entered into a drawing for one of these guys, Casey Jones. And then if you share the page, I'll give you 2 entries. So please share, please help me, give me the love, show me the love.
Like, share,
Yes.
and guys, you could absolutely be interested or entered into getting this awesome mask. I mean, and it's super great because even in the back there's foam, so it doesn't press against your face and rub and start hurting. So, like, guys, this is a great deal. Like 10% off your entire order.
Yes.
That's super cool. So, what is the range in prices on certain things? I mean, I understand that, you know, a lot more work would go into, let's say, this chest piece on this mannequin over here versus, let's say, the little X-Men belt buckle.
So,
But what are the price ranges?
you know, for belt buckles, there's some that are bigger, there's some that are smaller. I don't care. They're all $30.
Okay.
So it's more or less, it's up to me to make sure that I make something where it's in a price range that I can sell and still kind of pay to keep making stuff. So $30 all around. That includes things like I make Henchman belt buckles from the Venture Brothers and Henchman masks.
What?
I try to keep all half-face masks, such as Casey or the Huntress mask. Those are all under $100.
Cool.
For the raw cast, they're typically priced around 60 to 70. You know, I'll just make sure they're all 70. No, screw it, 60. That's fine.
Yeah, 60.
And then any of the finished painted masks are right at 120. So it's typically, you know, I charge half of what the finished price is for a casting. For something like the helmet over there, that guy's priced right at 200 for the kit, and then for the finished paint, it's 300.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time that goes into that. And
Oh, yeah,
actually,
you
if you
can
look at
see.
the front of it, you're familiar with vacuum forming?
Yes, vacuum
Okay.
forming, yeah.
So that visor is actually vacuum formed, and it's actually got dimension to it.
Oh,
It's
wow,
not
yeah,
just a
I was
random
looking at
shape.
the-
It's got all these weird
Yeah,
facets
it has
and all
different,
that.
like different angles on it, which
Yeah,
are
so-
really, really cool. I mean, it makes it look like it's actually, you know, it has dimension. I mean, look at that kind of arrowish kind of look at the front.
Actually,
I mean,
at the side where your index finger is, there's fans on each side as an intake.
oh, cool.
See this slit right here?
Oh, yeah. So you're talking about this slit right
Yeah.
here, right?
So
That's super cool.
a lot of
Wow.
us breathe heavy, you know, and every time you've got something big and bulky on you and you're getting hot, you know, eventually that lens is going to start getting fogged up.
It's an air
Well, I've
vent.
got a couple fans in there, and it'll actually help keep airflow in there. And
What?
since it's sucking
You
air
have
from
fans
outside,
in there. That's so cool.
yeah,
What?
That's on the inside of those vents.
Every hat in the world needs to have a fan in it. Oh my gosh. That is super. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, it's
Yay, that's so cool.
you
Oh
know,
my God, I love
that
it.
was more or less somebody wearing it going, man, I love
can't
this thing,
see."
but it's miserable. I can't see anything.
they're
And
just,
I'm
like,
like, all right,
wiping.
let's see if we can figure out a way to get fans in there. So
That's
we
super
did
cool.
that, and it
So
worked.
that's absolutely understandable with the electronics in there.
Yeah.
The amazing paint job. I mean, the dimensions. It looks like you would go into war with this kind
Yeah.
of thing. And
Yeah.
so I can understand why that would be, you know, the price that it's at, because it's, oh my gosh, that'd totally be worth it. Especially going to different cons and stuff when you're,
Right.
I mean, you're just sitting there just sweating. Even in something like this, you'd be really hot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and people don't really understand that when
Yeah.
you until you actually start doing it, and you're just like, oh man, can't wait to take all of this off. Ah, you know.
That's the best part of a con is when you get to go take your cosplay off.
Yeah,
So,
and then you come back out with your hair done and your makeup done, and it's all crazy, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's what you look like. You look like a normal person. But, well, cool. So tell me a little bit about the armor over here.
Okay.
This is, I mean, there's so many different pieces to it. I just absolutely love this. What would this range in price? Just the chest piece, the shoulder plates, and the gauntlets.
So I sell them all in parts.
Okay.
I haven't sold them as an entire kit because
Okay.
typically people don't want everything.
Mm-hmm.
This falls under the same category as the mask. So anything of this size range, it sells for about $60 per piece,
Mm-hmm.
unfinished in the casting, or it's $120 finished.
Okay.
I typically, when people start ordering multiple components, I start trying to work with them a little bit more, make it easier on them budget-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, like I said, it's something I haven't necessarily had happen for now, but finished shoulder pad sells for $250. I have
These
a
are
lot
really
of people
cool.
just sell individual. They just buy a single shoulder pad because
Oh,
they're,
nice.
you know, they can be separate.
Mm-hmm.
The breastplate itself, I've never sold one of those. I typically make a custom breastplate for each person.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because being a woman, it's like, I mean, everybody ranges
Yes.
in different sizes.
It
I
does.
mean,
It does.
and you know, not to be strange or anything, but breasts are actually, some are further apart, some are lower, some are higher, some
Right.
are, you know, they do their own thing.
So one kind
So,
of neat
it's
thing
good that you do
though,
that.
one of the ways that I've worked around that, I can have somebody send me a cup size bra that fits them, and I
Mm-hmm.
can use that to make the finished breastplate off of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So case in point with this guy right here, this is built around somebody's.
Oh, wow.
Are we in a good shot? So this guy right here was built around somebody's bra,
Someone's actual bra.
and so it has a leather harness on it.
Dude, what is happening? This is amazing. Oh my gosh, how cool.
Let's see if I can find that.
There's the other look.
Yeah, so
Wow.
what this allows me to do though is, you know, you've got this generic base leather harness, which you then can get another breastplate for
Yeah.
and have a different size, and it's just all brown, you know,
Uh-huh.
so it's pretty universal.
This is really cool. Wow. Sorry,
But-
I'm like leaning over and cutting you
But
off.
you think about it, what's one of the worst things about wearing a piece of armor like this?
It
It's-
hurts.
You have no support.
You have no
You
support.
know?
Absolutely no
so
support.
this gives you an actual functional bra.
That is amazing.
It looks awesome. It's actually got a bunch of different connection joints, and that's how everything is attached.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
see? So
What? I wish every costume was like this. It's so easy.
yeah, so
Wow.
I do harnesses like this. Just the base harness costs about $500.
Okay.
If you want something this extravagant, you got to come see me. Let me know. I'll work with you.
Okay. So
But-
do you have like your own shop, or do you run out of kind of like like a garage, or
I have
a
I have
room in
two
your
primary
house, or-
locations. So I've got a home studio, but then I also I'm an instructor at a makerspace called Vocademy.
Oh, cool.
So they have me as an instructor there as well as the artist in residence. And Vocademy's great. It's got all sorts of different equipment. We've got laser cutters, we've got 3D printers, CNC machines. We've got a full wood shop, a full metal shop. You know, we've got a metal CNC lathe in there, so you can plot out a lightsaber hilt design, throw it on there, and actually mill it out in
Love
40 minutes. So it's super cool. As well as they teach classes how to use every single piece of equipment in there.
Nice.
And then finally, you know, this weekend, for example, they just did a series of classes called Cosplay Weekend, and so it's
Long Beach is in town.
Right. It's
Nice.
it's a list of classes which are all oriented towards, you know, people that want to start making more cosplay. And some of these classes are working with EVA foam. There's thermoforming plastics, so working with like Warba and Sintra and Wonderflex, and it's resin casting, mold making. So it's really, really good to get people kind of motivated.
Yeah.
That's always the hardest thing.
It's
motivation.
That's super cool that they don't just stay to just one medium, you
Right.
know? It's like, we are willing to teach you all kinds of different things, and you know what? It's like, why not learn all of them?
Absolutely.
I mean, it just expands
Absolutely.
your skill set, and I mean, look at the amazing things that you've made. I'm just
Half of this has been made at Vocademy.
really.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
So Light Beyond Nemesis, all the feathery bits, that's all laser cut styrene.
Wow. That looks
So it's been
so cool.
heat shaped. They've got a giant industrial sized vacuum form there. So that's how the visor's done.
Oh, I love
same with the
vacuum
side bits.
forms.
Oh, it's great. They have a 3D printer, which is, I think, 24 inches by 24 inches by 2.5 feet. Actually, they've got 6 of them.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
That's
it's mind-boggling,
so cool.
right?
That's so
Imagine
cool.
printing an entire Stormtrooper helmet in one go.
What?
It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, how
So,
cool.
super
Wow.
fun.
Well, shout out to Vocational.
Vocademy.
Vocademy,
That's
I'm sorry.
Vocademy USA. And if you can't find it, message me on Facebook. I will send you there because you really
The
need to
link
check
to
it out.
Yeah, that's super cool. So, wow. I mean, so what is your favorite thing out of all this? I mean, like the things that you create and the fact that you're teaching, it's like you have so much that you're doing and amazing pieces that you're creating. What's your favorite thing out of all of it?
I think I can answer that. You know, I told you I love painting, and I do, but really so much of what I love is, like I said, I teach. I love teaching people how to use all this different equipment. I love teaching how to use all this different material. And really what I love more than anything is after I've taught somebody and they've gone and messed around with these different techniques for a couple months or a year or whatever, really what always strikes home for me is being the best part is when they come back to me and they say, look what I just figured out.
That is
and then
awesome.
so, you know, I'm teaching, let's say I teach 150 people a year. Well, that means I have 150 people that are going to go out and teach more people inevitably, and they're going to figure out things, and it's eventually going to trickle back to me. And so in the end run, it just all benefits me. So that's one of the coolest
painting
things.
and kind of teaching.
Kind
right?
of teaching, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it when people like to teach because, you know, if we don't have teachers, we don't get very far.
Yeah, you know, there was a stigma for so long on trying to keep all this information inside, and it's really only with the whole cosplay movement and the maker movement that the access to all this information and these techniques started coming together. And even more importantly, it wasn't just, you know, what's been used in the special effects industry, but it's all of these other industries and all these other engineers and specialists. They're coming in and they're like, hey, you know, I'm an aerospace engineer. I'm gonna go make a Captain America shield.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make it out of titanium. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. That's awesome. So here's a question. If you know, you said that, you know, a lot of people's, you know, props and products, like other lines and things, people's stuff does wear out over time. What if my wand over here, what if I got this and it got scratched? Would I be able to send it to you and
Yeah, absolutely.
you be able to fix it, or
Yeah,
would you have to
so-
make a whole new one?
So, you know, it's by case basis.
I mean, if I crack it in half, we're having a little
Yeah,
bit of an issue.
so
or if it melts, that's
if
not
something
easy.
is repairable, absolutely. Let me know. I'll work with you. I'll charge you enough basically for a little bit of labor and a little bit of material costs. But you got to remember, anytime somebody buys something from me and they're walking around with it, that's beneficial to me.
Yeah.
I need it to look great.
Yeah,
I need it
very
to be
true.
happy. So I'm not going to charge you an arm and a leg to get something fixed. I'm going to tell you to come out and hang out, bring a case of beer for a day. Seriously, I fix props more for a Guinness or so, or even just a cup of coffee a lot of the time. So it's
Nice.
I enjoy this whole thing so much. I just have to make sure that I can afford to keep doing this. So that's really I hate charging people. I just kind of inevitably have to do it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We all got to pay our bills.
Exactly.
Completely understand. So, do you actually go to a lot of the conventions that are around here, or do you
do.
go all across America? Like, what's?
I travel kind of across America. There's some corners that I haven't gone to, but I've gone to Atlanta. I've been up to Portland. I've been out to Seattle. It's Utah. Actually, Salt Lake Comic-Con is actually a really fun comic convention for what it's worth.
Salt Lake's pretty cool.
They get so many guests, so it's always like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, that's cool. That's unique. Like you get ideas from.
But I'm occasionally on panels. Some people
cool.
actually want to hear what I have to say for an hour.
Well, I know that we do. I'm excited. Woohoo!
Thank you.
So where exactly are you based out of?
So I'm located in Riverside, but I do spend a lot of time in LA, and then I do spend a lot of time down in Long Beach area. So really, I'm kind of all over Southern California.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, because I know that there are some people out in middle of Wyoming, and they're just like, well, you can't really come over and hang out.
Cold.
It's a little cold. A little cold in Wyoming right now, right?
Yes.
I think so. Yes. Yeah, they're definitely in the mountains. It's not. I like the
Here in California,
80-degree.
it's 90.
I know, it's like 85, 90-degree weather.
It is.
Like, what happened to winter?
Where El Nino?
No.
What?
Yeah, what? There's not even a Nino yet. Well, cool. Thank you for coming on. Like, I'm
Thanks for
super
having me.
stoked about all of this. So, so what is the deal that you're doing again?
Oh, so once again, if you go on my Etsy page, under coupon code, I believe it is, if you just put HOKU10, that's HOKU10, you'll get a 10% discount. Also, please go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/HOKUprops, or you can also go to my website, hokuprops.com, and that'll give you links to everywhere. But like my page, and you'll get 1 entry into the raffle. Like and share my page, you'll get 2. Okay?
Nice.
And please ask questions.
Yeah, and he likes to teach, guys. So feel free to send him questions about that kind of stuff. It's awesome. So, how many? Do you have like different collections when it comes to the things that you make? Like, you have the mask collection, you have the belt buckle collection, you have the armored female collection. Like, or do you just like, this is all the stuff that I like to make? Kind of thing?
I'm kind of confused by the question, but I'm just going to answer anyway. I like making a whole lot of different stuff. I like a lot of really, really fine detail pieces. I'm definitely more on the ornate aspect of things. So doing like this breastplate, I think breastplates are some of the funnest things to make. Not only do I get to essentially handle boobs all day, but I get to make them look even cooler. So.
Oh, I like it. I like the swirls on these as well. Is this cast out of resin as well, or?
No, actually, so.
Which part is that?
This is all vacuum-formed ABS on the inside.
Oh, cool.
So that's the best part is, in the most ideal situation, I can do a life cast of the girl, and then do a plaster vacuum forming buck over that, vacuum form over that, and what it's going to do is it's going to make that product fit perfectly over their bust, okay? Once I've also done that, I've also got a form that I can then make this vacuum form tray over and then do all the detailing.
That's cool.
So let's say, this is Mylin Starley, right?
Oh, Mylin.
So at any time, she can come to me and she can say, hey, I need this breastplate from this character. Well, I can make it.
You've already done the casting. That's
so,
cool.
And I've got a wide enough variety of different vacuum form bucks of different bust sizes that if you have a close approximate to somebody's size, I can work with that.
Cool. So you keep saying a buck. Some people might not know what bucks are.
Gotcha.
And I heard that you brought a couple with you.
Yeah. So really, a buck is a component for the vacuum forming process, and Mr. Fawn actually teaches a class through Stan Winston on vacuum forming. So
definitely
if
does.
you're interested in it, check it out. But essentially what you're doing is you're taking a positive form and, for example, this guy. This is milled out on a CNC machine. And so essentially I have a 3D model, and then I load this on this machine, which has a giant drill bit on it. And that drill bit is going to project a toolpath over that surface of that 3D model. And it's going to go through and it's going to mill out all the contours and all that surface. Okay? So now that I've got this guy, I can put it on a vacuum form table. And a vacuum form table, it's a perforated board which is hooked up to a vacuum supply. And you're going to take a big sheet of plastic, you're going to heat it up till it's a malleable state. You're going to pull it over this positive form, you're going to suck out all the air, and that malleable plastic is now going to conform over this surface, right? And once it's done that, hit your fan or you just let it cool down, and it's going to maintain that shape. And you can pull it off. And that's how you get some of the most lightweight, different components for props. So for example, this is vacuum formed plastic, right? And this whole thing weighs less than 6 ounces.
Yeah,
So
it's super duper light. But it's like, it doesn't feel like it's gonna like crack or like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
it feels, even though you said not to do that, I'm gonna knock on this. It's like,
oh,
mean,
it's super durable.
yeah, it's super durable. And I mean, you guys can check it out that, you know, it doesn't bend a whole lot, you know. So that's actually really, really cool. I like the detail that you've done with the edges of this.
Oh, yeah.
Itself. It definitely gives it a really good feel when it comes to authenticity, when it comes to, you know, it really feels like armor. You know, I actually really like that. I'm gonna have to check out your store, man. So, but cool. So, whenever you're, you know, not model making, but costume making, and well, I guess these are kind of props and models a little bit. Do you like listen to like a certain type of music, or do you just kind of like get into like a zen zone and it's like all quiet and you're just
You know,
kind of thing? Or
going through university the same time as I was making props, I found that I didn't have enough time to do both. So I started listening to audiobooks. And so I actually work while I listen to audiobooks. I find it a lot easier for me to concentrate while I've kind of got someone talking in the background.
it's kind of cool.
But it also means when I'm in class, I'm really good at ignoring people when they're talking to me.
Aww.
So sorry, teachers. Yeah, so I don't listen to a whole lot of music. I try to maximize my time, and maybe that's not necessarily the best solution because I'm kind of always multitasking, but I think I've done pretty well considering.
I think it's great. I mean, you get two things done at once. It's like, who doesn't like multitasking?
Yep.
I mean, at least you're not multi-failing. You know, that's
Right.
multi-failing's not easy.
I listen to a lot of fantasy books, so sometimes, you know, I'll totally love a book and it'll just get me in the mode. I'm like, oh, creativity.
Gotta make
madness.
everything. So is that like, what gets your like creative juices like flowing? Is it listening to the fantasy audiobooks, or is
You know what? I've got a bunch of different triggers. Really anything. I can see somebody walking down the street and they've got some sort of clothing. I'm like, oh man, that would look super cool as Under Armour.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I go watch a movie, or Deadpool, for example. I'm just like, oh my
Deadpool's
gosh.
so good.
I laughed so much. Now I want to go make
So
the
funny.
laughter kind of spread out. So I actually had the Deadpool buckles before that.
Oh,
but,
nice. Yeah, repping the Deadpool. There we go.
Yeah, actually,
him.
let me grab the other ones real quick. Where's the X buckles?
I'm trying to lean it up for everyone to see. There we go. That's so
So-
cool. Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
One thing I liked,
How cute it is.
one thing I liked about the belt buckles is,
It's so shiny. It looks
well,
so great.
I designed these belt buckles so they're actually all the same size.
Oh,
And so
cool.
because they're the same size, you can actually get separate bezels, different colors. They can be kind of mixed and matched. If you look at this guy, this is actually cold cast bronze.
Oh, nice.
And that's cold cast aluminum.
There's Black Widow. Yeah.
There's
So wait,
black
this
and
one-
yellow
oh,
X-Men.
this is
These
cool.
really can come in
Bronze.
any
I love
color.
it. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So, what was your favorite kind of belt buckle that you've made?
I have to say, my favorite belt buckle is actually the henchman buckles.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous. So
That's pretty. I like them. They're pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Venture Brothers is
Yeah, Venture Brothers.
funny.
Yes, absolutely. Love it. But well, cool. So you came on today, and you have a little bit of a deal going with your store. So you want to tell everybody about your deal again?
Oh, sure. So once again, just to kind of make sure you guys hear it, go on my Etsy, buy stuff from me on checkout, HOKU 10. That'll give you 10% off of the entire order. As well as if you go on my Facebook page and you like and you share it, a like will give you one entry into the raffle. Share will give you a second one. It helps me, and that means I can make cooler stuff for you guys.
Nice. So. And it's a raffle for this
it's for
awesome
a finished
Jason
painted
mask.
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones, I'm sorry.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Wow,
Turtles.
I'm failing. Oh my gosh,
Okay.
why did I say
forgive you.
Jason? Casey Jones.
You know what? If you drill a
Wow.
couple holes in
Yes,
there, it'll probably
absolutely
look
Casey
better
Jones.
than Jason.
Yeah, I can see that. But yes, Casey Jones, guys. Oh my gosh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know what just came out of my mouth. That's awesome. With the blood splatter and everything. Oh my gosh. Absolutely love this. I mean, definitely looks like it's been in a couple
This was actually
battles.
painted about 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah, you can look. There's a little bit of damage on this side and stuff. So yeah, it's durable.
Gosh. Holy cow, guys. This is 4 years ago, that paint job. That's
Yeah.
amazing that it's held up that long. Wow. So what is this piece down here that I'm kind of looking
These
at?
are just, I wanted to show, there's another process to get a metallic look, and see if I can angle these towards the camera, all right? So these are cold cast brass, and what that means is the casting process, you're gonna take typically you have a silicone jacket or a silicone mold that you're gonna cast a resin into.
Okay.
So this is the same process, but before you pour the resin in there, you can get different types of metal in a powdered form. And so if you coat the interior surface of your mold and then with that metal, and then you cast it out of the resin, what's going to happen is that metal powder on the surface of the mold is going to get encapsulated by the resin. So you can pull it out and then you can buff it. And that's going to give you an actual really, really thin layer of metal on the surface. And so, something like this is
Yeah,
it's not been polished, but it's,
I seriously
it's
thought
brass.
that these were pieces of metal in here. I was like, well, why do you have metal? Guys, holy cow, this looks so good.
And it weighs
I'm-
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I actually had
should
a.
probably not be tossing.
I
this
had an.
stuff
No, it's
around.
fine.
It's not
I had
nice.
an arm gauntlet that
But-
went almost all the way up my arm, and I had about 40 of those on each arm.
Oh,
And
wow.
the whole thing weighed about 2 pounds per arm.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. When
Yeah.
you're doing cosplay and you're doing even Halloween costumes, anything, function is what's important.
Yes.
And function and weight. Not even kidding. Like, guys, look at that. That absolutely looks like metal. And it's not. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Metal, not. Metal, not. But yeah, one of my favorite things about cosplay people like that have done cosplay, that have done costumes, and that provide costumes for other people is that they absolutely understand, all the problems that people run into when it comes to costuming.
Yep.
Heat, comfortability, and like weight. Because you can't have like if this was like 40 pounds, you can't be walking around with a 40-pound helmet for 8 hours. I mean, you could, but you're gonna have a headache.
That's actually
gonna
why I
hurt.
remade Bernie's helmet.
Really?
So
How heavy was the
Bernie-
first one?
Yeah, Bernie had another helmet by.
This was the dark
This was
helmet
made a
one.
long time ago. For those that don't know, Bernie Bregman of Nerds Like Us, he is kind of the nerdiest out there.
Yeah.
He kind of runs the show for us little minion nerds. So check his stuff out. He does these awesome screenings.
Yes.
It's one
We're-
Saturday every month.
We're bringing Bernie on this. It's gonna be
Awesome.
fun. Yeah.
Look forward to it. He's
Yeah.
kind of a
Bernie's-
mad scientist.
Bernie's awesome.
But
It's
so he
fun.
had another dark helmet made a while back, and it was made out of fiberglass.
Oh my gosh, you kidding?
It weighed about 11 pounds. So it was.
Dude.
It was a love-hate relationship for a while.
Oh man.
So I got to know the fine gentleman that he is, and said, "Let's remake this thing." And so we did. And so we actually, for what it's worth, the helmet that he has himself, that is something that I vacuum formed over his old helmet.
Oh, okay.
So I reinforced the heck out of that thing. Redid the bodywork because it had been pretty damaged. Then vacuum formed over that, got it, much lighter, and then now he's wearing it. I did remake the mask though.
Nice. Well, cool. So, I mean, I love when people are connected to all the nerdy, cool things. And I'm super stoked that being a nerd is actually you know, where it's at now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like for the longest time, I mean, when I was a kid, it's like, you know, you were kind of like a closet nerd. You know, you didn't want people to make fun of you. And, but some people, you know, some people didn't hide it. I unfortunately hid it.
I was
Sorry,
always
guys.
the loud, boisterous, nerdy guy that just loved life.
I was always the one that was like in my room, like, like pulling out my comic books. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Wow, how fun. And then my parents are knocking on the door. I'm like, what? I'm hiding it under my pillow. I'm like, oh, I'm reading like Batman and Superman. And I'm just like, oh, I was reading my textbooks. Meh. So yeah, I was a closet nerd for a long time. And then when I went into college, I was just like, I don't care. I like it. It's fun. So
That's life.
yeah, I'm super excited that, you know, this stuff can actually become like mainstream now. And
It already is.
I know.
It's so mainstream.
but
it's
it's like,
amazing.
but it's like people like you and like creative artists can actually make like livings and actually have a fun time doing what they like to do.
Yep.
It's just, I'm so stoked about like where things are going, like fashion, like even like
Star
just
Wars.
everything. Yes.
Star Wars. My
Star
girlfriend
Wars.
comes home. She's like,
I'm crazy about this.
she's like, look what I got
Darth
you.
Vader
From
and
Pacific Sunwear, and I'm like,
the Death
I'm not
Star.
gonna wear something from Pacific Sunwear.
You're like, oh no, you will.
And it has Darth Vader on it.
Trust me, you will.
Okay,
It's good.
I can do that.
That's awesome. So, when it comes to the different props, like, how long would it take you to make, like, let's say the scythe or the sword over here,
Okay.
versus just the
Yeah,
little
so
belt
I
buckles?
budget everything by days. So really the scope of my work, I try to, like a custom commission, for example. A custom commission for me typically involves about 18 hours of work.
Okay.
That's what I want to keep it at. That keeps it about $500. So just for future reference, if anybody ever wants to hire me to make something, it always starts at $500 because that equates to 1 day, okay? 18 hours of work is 2 days, right? So I can typically finish your work in 2 days. If I can't, I'll charge you more. But I work really fast. You know, that's one benefit. Because I went to school for 3D modeling and animation,
Yeah,
I
that's
can
good.
rapid prototype a model out and get it 3D printed. This entire modeling and printing process, you know, the printing process, it's simple, it's straightforward, it's pretty hands-off.
Yeah.
But this was made in a day, 1 day.
Really?
This master was made in 1 day, and then the second day, I made a mold, which took about 4 hours, cast it, which took about 30 minutes, trimmed it, finished it, painted it, that's 2 days.
Nice. So why does it take like 30 minutes for certain things? Is it because you're waiting for things to like
Yeah,
settle
so,
or dry, or you know,
Exactly.
you're not just like, okay, it's done and then I'm going to wait 30 minutes for it to be, you know,
Yeah,
for my
that's-
time to catch up. It's you're waiting for things to actually finish
Right.
doing what they're supposed to be doing.
One of the most time-consuming parts of making any props is the fact that you have to let that prop sit after you've finished it. It
Yeah.
needs to sit for a couple of days, otherwise the person wearing it's going to pass out from chemical smells.
Oh, yes.
So, you know,
That's not good.
paint needs some time to cure, so
Yeah.
be nice to it, otherwise you're going to mess up. Really, you think about it, if you rush a paint job and your paint's not dried and set, and then you go to a convention, you spent so much time working on that prop, and then you're going to destroy it because it's not ready to be worn.
Yeah.
So just that's really the most important thing to budget is time. But yeah, I've got a pretty good idea on how long stuff takes to cure. So I also, you know, when I paint, I have a big, large heated area that I can just
Oh,
keep
nice.
stuff to kind of, it's nice and dry, nice and warm.
Yeah.
So moisture's bad for paint.
Yeah,
just for future
definitely.
reference.
Definitely bad.
So
Well, cool. Yay. I'm super happy that like you had time to come on the show and like show us these amazing things. I love it. I absolutely love everything.
yeah, we covered a
It's
lot.
so cool. I know. I mean, we covered so much. It's like, you know, we pitched a lot of people, and you know, like this
Yep.
stuff is just really, really cool.
Equal opportunity.
So where do you see yourself going in like, let's say
Well, you
like
know what?
2 years, 5 years?
I'm
like,
done with school, so actually, you know, as of right now, I'm actually going to be moving out to Long Beach in about the next 3 months,
Oh, Long Beach.
which means I'll be closer to everyone.
Yay.
At least
yeah,
in
because
the-
Riverside's a little far.
The greater Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Riverside. I don't know if we talked about that.
I-
I'm from Riverside right now, which is about an hour east of LA.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt to get there. So if you want to come see me, great. but you're gonna want to drink a beer.
Yeah, after that drive, you want to drink a beer. You're just like,
But yeah, so I really just kind of want to concentrate on a bigger picture. You know, I've had to keep myself spread a little thin with a bunch of different stuff over the last couple of years.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've been going to school.
School,
I mean,
you know, I've
that's
lost an eyeball at one point. So
is it okay if I ask what happened?
oh, so I was working in the shop and I had a piece of equipment fail, came up, hit me in the face. So that put me down for a couple of days.
Oh my gosh.
But I rock an eye patch pretty well.
Nice,
so
nice.
I
I've heard that you have like a glow in the dark eye that you put in.
Yeah, you know, I'm lucky. I made really good friends with a couple of the oculists and the oculoplastic surgeon I work with.
Oh,
So,
nice.
you know, I've been able to get a bunch of information from them and learn how to make prosthetic eyes that are more on the safe side. So,
That's so cool.
any prosthetic eye, you're kind of susceptible a little bit to infection. So you got to be really, really careful about keeping it clean. But you know, I was able to make a couple of different eyeballs that, you know,
That's so
special
cool.
effects eyeballs,
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Let's see you do a contact that looks as cool as my stuff. So I've got one that's got an LED in it. It changes colors as all this stuff.
Oh, yeah?
So
Nice.
yeah, I'm looking
How
forward to a
fun.
cop pulling me over when I have it.
Oh man, they would freak out. They
You're
would
gonna-
they would
it's-
seriously
it's
think
gonna
it would
be
be
on
like the
news.
Terminator. or something.
Terminator
Yeah.
shot by LAPD. Not LAPD. I didn't say that.
Yeah. No, he didn't. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So are you actually going to expand maybe that kind of line? Maybe like eye patch or eye prosthetic?
I
kind
would
of line?
love-
That'd be really cool.
I would love to make eye patches. I will never make somebody a prosthetic eye.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay. Is it?
Don't-
It's just too risky.
It's. I'm not an ocularist.
Okay.
You know, I've got a buddy Elliot that I totally want to
Oh,
tell how
Elliot
to do
Sirota,
it.
Elliot Sirota.
So you know,
Calling
me and
him
him we want to come together and make two guys with one eye productions at one point.
That's cool.
Make some nerdy stuff.
Two
but
guys, one eye.
like I said, I'd love to make eye patches. Yeah.
That's cool. I like it. So, okay. So again, the deal that you're doing on your store is.
Once again, HOKU 10. That's a coupon code used for my Etsy. Also, come like my page. I'll enter in you a raffle for Mr. Casey Jones here.
Casey
If you share my page, you know I can keep track of that pretty well. So you'll get entered twice. So
Casey Jones. Love it. Love it. Well, cool. Well, seriously, thank you so much for coming
Thanks
on.
for having
This has
me.
been so much fun. And
Meltdown Comics, guys.
I know, right? Meltdown. This is like historic nerdness.
It is.
Absolutely
I
love it.
walked in. There's the turtles right there. I've
Yep.
got the Casey right here.
Yep. That's awesome. I love it. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, we're gonna have to have you come back on and like show us some other stuff because
Yeah,
you know I'm
please.
sure you have plenty of things to
Oh,
show.
there's too much.
Oh, nice. Well, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having
And
me.
we'll definitely ask you back sometime.
Cool.
So
See you guys.
bye guys.